Hey eBay sellers, it's Suzanne A. Wells, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about vintage club aluminum cookware. This is on my top 100 items to look for to sell on eBay. I like this item for several reasons. First of all, it's been a consistent seller ever since I started selling on eBay back in 2003. So 15 years, I always look for this stuff. It's very easy to spot in the thrift store or anywhere, garage sales, estate sales, or church sales because it's so brightly colored, except for the brown. So this comes in a lot of different colors. You'll see the blue, green, yellow, the pink, cherry red. Growing up, we had the yellow and the turquoise. So if you are Gen X or older, you will remember this. Either you had a set at your house or you saw this when you would eat dinner at your friend's house, or maybe your aunts and uncles had it, your grandma, somebody along the way had this if you were growing up in the 60s, 70s, 80s. You'll remember this stuff. We had the yellow and the turquoise, kind of a mixed bag of different pieces. And I always remember my mom would cook chili or vegetable soup, pot roast, those kind of things in that Dutch oven. It's kind of like nostalgia. I like these vintage items because when you see them, it brings back good memories, and that just makes this business so fun for me. So the inspiration for this video is that this month, last month, August of 2018, I sold two pieces. Both of them were either $3 or $4 at Goodwill. So that first piece, the Dutch oven was $4, and that sold for $43.97 plus shipping. So that was a great flip. Sold it for more than 10 times what I paid for it. And then the skillet frying pan sold for $25. Now, another thing I like about this product is it's just easy to ship. It's durable. It's not going to break. You do want to wrap it well, especially if it has that handle like on the skillets and the sauce pots. You want to make sure that's wrapped well. But it's durable and sturdy, and it's not like shipping, breakable Christmas ornaments or something like that where you have to worry about it. So it gets there just fine. And people that like this are always adding to their collection because along the way, pieces may have gotten lost during a move or whatever reason, or they're just adding to their collection. So it's a good steady seller, something you can depend on to sell, and very easy to spot in the thrift store or garage sale, wherever, because most of the stuff on the thrift store pots and pans aisle is black or silver. And this stuff just pops. It's easy to see. So if you've got only a few minutes to do a quick run through the Goodwill or whatever, when you're waiting to pick your kids up from their practices, or you've dropped your spouse off at a doctor's appointment, or you're just on your way home from work, whatever it is, and you do a quick run through, you'll be able to see this pretty easily. One quick story I wanted to tell you was back in 2011, I put this on my blog because this was just like a score that I wanted to share. I was looking on Craigslist for things to flip, and I saw this ad for this pink club cookware. And the lady had the whole set, $40. And I was like, yes, I will totally do that. So I was actually teaching a client how to do this, how to go on Craigslist to troll for items to flip, and we were doing a Skype session with screen sharing so I could show him what to do. And I saw this during that session, and I'm like, as soon as I got off the phone with him, I called this lady so I could get this stuff. So anyway, I paid $40 for it. Turns out she was downsizing her antique booth, getting out of that business and just kind of selling off her stuff. So I sold it for just under $180. So $40, and it sold for more than 4 times what I paid for it. And it was a big box of stuff to ship, but that was okay for that amount of money. I'm totally fine with doing that. But I did put that on auction back at the time, and I probably would now if I found the pink, because that's pretty rare. You don't see the pink very much, but the moral of that story is that I quadrupled my investment in 7 days, and I made $110 for about 2 hours worth of work. So I got real excited about Club Cookware back then, and it's just something I always look for. So let's go over to eBay and take a look at the market to see, is it oversaturated and what kind of prices are people getting. When you pull up Club Cookware, there are 1,000 results. So that is a pretty small amount of people to have to compete against. And again, this comes in so many different colors and there's so many different pieces. You're just not going to have a lot of competition when trying to sell it, which is that is the way to do your eBay business, is to find things you don't have a lot of competitors on, things that people actually want to keep, that they're not going to return, and that have a sense of nostalgia, and collectors want them for their collection. So all you people out there that are, only selling clothes or only selling baby items, this is the point I'm trying to get across to you, is you've got to diversify. You've got to figure out these things that are right there at your fingertips in the thrift store anyway. These resources are all around you. And if you just broaden your knowledge and be willing to work with other kinds of products, you can find these things that sell for a lot more. You're going to make a higher profit for the same amount of work, and you're not going to get the returns. So that is the downside of selling clothing. If that's all you're doing is clothing, you do have to deal with the returns. But I have never had a piece of this stuff returned in my entire 15 years on eBay. So those are the kind of things I like to sell, and that's where my knowledge in this business is going to help you, because if you're new to this, you may not know about this stuff, and you may not know people don't return it. So anyway, so we've got 1,000 results. I don't know what's going on with this $1,000 replacement handle. I think that's a typo in their price. Maybe they meant to put 10 and they just messed up. That's not real. We've got a set here of the green that's priced at $299. You can see a lot of these sets are being sold. You're probably going to ask, should I sell it in a set or should I sell it individually? Well, that's going to be a judgment call on your part. You're going to need to do that research to see how the pieces sell individually, and what's your objective? Do you want a quick flip for a decent profit, pretty fast? Do you want to ship one package? Do you want to ship a bunch of separate packages? There's no right or wrong answer. It's just what's going to work for you. How long are you willing to wait for all of it to sell? This is also something you could put on a Facebook group, on a Facebook marketplace, because you may be able to sell it locally and not have to ship it at all. So, that's another option. So let's look at sold listings so you can see what kind of prices, if I can get on the right thing here, you can see what kind of prices to expect when you sell this stuff. And I've got this sorted highest to lowest. There's 702 sold items. So that's a very good success rate if you sell this stuff, because remember, we only saw 1,000 actives and there's 702 sold over a 90-day period. So that's a very good success rate when selling this stuff. I hate the term sell-through rate, because you can't really measure that with looking at these completed listings, because it's over a 3-month period. So there's too many variables involved here to actually come up with a percentage of a sell-through rate. That is a term used in retail when the criteria is very set in stone. How many pieces did we buy? How many did we sell in a 30-day period? Retail does not have the variables that eBay has. So when you start hearing all these people talking about sell-through rates, it's a very gray area. It's very watery. That doesn't mean anything. What I look at is how many are active and how many sold over the last 30 days. If you look at the actives, that tells you your competitors. if you look at the sold compared to the actives, that gives you an idea of whether or not you should spend your time dealing with it. So here we've got a set that is, let me enlarge this a little for you. 14-piece set of the turquoise. NOS means new old stock. So that means this stuff is brand new. It's a vintage item, but it's still brand new. It was never used, or it has tags, or it has shrink wrap, or it's in the box, or something like that. That's what NOS means. So this sold for $330. Here's another one that was pre-owned, $325 for the entire set. So, if you came across this at, I see a lot of this in these antique malls. I walk through there just for fun to look at stuff and learn what sells and what things are. If you saw a set of this for $100 and you could flip it for $300, I would totally do that. I would be on board with that because this stuff sells. Here's the pink set. They didn't even put the color in the title. They didn't put vintage in the title. That might have helped them get more hits on that. That one went for, well, it doesn't say because it was on best offer, and I'm not going to take the time to go over to watch count and look that up. Here's another set that is the turquoise. It went for $195. So let's go look at some of the individual pieces to see if my prices were on track. I'm just going to go up here and put Dutch oven, because that's the big, usually 5-quart big stock pot that that you'll see. Okay, this is pulling up sets, so that was not super helpful. That's 2 of them. I can just tell you from experience that you're going to get 40 to 50 for the Dutch ovens if you sell them on their own. Now look at this person made that very retro looking. That's fun. So this is a white one, white gray. That went for $66. This is a different style. This is a turkey roaster here. That one went for $65. And that's not... That looks like keyword spamming there. I don't know that Hammercraft and Club Aluminum are the same thing. Maybe they are, but if they're not, that's keyword spamming if they're not the same thing. Here is the turquoise Dutch oven that went for $55. And okay, let me just go back and check this so that I don't have to be corrected in the comments if I'm wrong. So does this say club on it? Yep, it sure does. So I stand corrected. The Hammercraft is Club Aluminum. So they apparently had a special line of the hammered. So that's totally fine. This person did not keyword spam. I apologize for that accusation, and I stand corrected. Okay, let's move on down the list. Here is the brown. That one's sold. Here is a set of the omelet pan with the Dutch oven. Went for $62. So you get the idea there. The actual sauce pots, those sell for $30 to $35. Let's see if we can pull that up there and find a single one. So right here, vintage 2-quart Club Aluminum Harvest Yellow went for $30 plus shipping. So that's about right. So if you had a set, you'd need to do the math and figure out, do you want to break it out or do you want to sell it all together? Here's a set of 2 sauce pots that went for $25. I probably would have started my auction higher if I did an auction on that, but that's just me because I have been doing this so long. I just know what I can get if I wait. And then there's the green. So if you are not familiar with this, keep your eye out for the Club Aluminum in all these different colors. Very easy to spot on the thrift store shelves because it just pops. It's just different than what else is there. One other thing I wanted to tell you about with this is You can sell the handles and the knobs just on their own because the knobs on the top of the pots, they screw off. So over time these can get lost, they can break. Like if you're moving and you're really rough with it, these knobs and handles can break. They're like a hard plastic. Not a cheap plastic like they make now. They're a really hard plastic material. So people will sell just these replacement knobs because they don't make them anymore. So if you find a set and the pots are really crappy and not sellable, or you can't get them cleaned up, you can take the knobs off and sell them, or you may just find the knobs on their own somewhere. So you can see these are selling for like $5 to $10, and then we've got the handles. Those sell on their own too because people need them. So just keep that in mind. This is kind of like the replacement buttons. You may find a really nice blazer and then you start looking at it and it's all crappy and torn up and smells like mothballs and has too many problems to sell it, but you can cut the buttons off. So check out my video above on that if you have not seen it. Also, I want to make sure that you know about the free trial on my premium content library. Come on over and check it out for 30 days absolutely free. You also get the help desk service. So if you have questions about your business, you need help with a customer problem, you don't understand how to do things on eBay, you get that during the free trial. You can ask me anything you want for 30 days. So come on over and check it out. Use coupon code free trial. The videos are downloadable, so you could go over there and download every single thing I have right now to your computer or to your phone and on the free trial, and that's totally fine. My vision for this premium content library is ongoing information that's added all the time, current information that's helpful for your business, the help desk service where you can ask an experienced person about how to help you with eBay via email, and have all this content available to help you anytime you want. So come on over and check that out. Would love your comments on the Vintage Club aluminum cookware. Have you sold it? Have you even noticed it? Did you know what it was? Did you have some growing up? And if you did, what color was it? That's the most important question. Thanks so much for watching, and have a profitable and productive day on eBay. Bye.